We are going to do a Mace strength flow. So if you are wondering whether you can do HIIT, high interval intensity training with the Mace, the answer is you absolutely can. So if you are a big fan of HIIT classes and they have gained so much popularity, especially with women, then this video is for you. I have from experience noticed a lot of women reaching out to me because they are going to these classes, and whilst they are getting fitter and stronger and noticing toned muscles and a general improved strength and fitness, they are also noticing a lot of tension, stiffness, old injuries bubbling up again, new injuries happening, and lots of aches. Women often report to me exhaustion and fatigue as well from these classes because they are often a bit too much, because it's kind of hard to modify it once you are swept into that, excitement of the class and everybody's doing 50 burpees and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do 50 burpees too. So if you are looking for a form of training they can replace the HIIT classes, then Steel Mace strength flows would be perfect for this. The main benefits of HIIT classes is obviously cardiovascular fitness, strength, endurance. Okay, so with the Steel Mace training, you can still do interval training. And in my Warrior Woman program, there is a whole part that is dedicating to interval training. They all take 20 minutes because you probably know that about me. I certified in TechFit, which is the tactical fitness, an amazing fitness system from the US that is really into interval training sessions, but they only take 20 minutes. It has been proven by research that 20 minutes of just the right intensity is all you need. So in my Warrior Woman program, I have the Mace flows, which I have coached in the group many, many times, or on my YouTube channel. And then I give you strength training and interval training sessions with different timers focused on different things. But there is a way to abridge both of these styles of Mace training. So somewhere between the Mace flows and the interval training, there sits, ta-da, the strength Mace flows. Okay, and they are fabulous, and I'm going to teach you one today. So I'm just going to shimmy my camera a little bit so you can see me really well, because I'm going to go to the back. Now, grab your Mace. Okay, if you don't own a Mace yet, and the exciting thing is that I have got a lot of messages lately from women who are getting their Maces. If you don't have a Mace yet, use a broomstick, okay? So then you can kind of figure it out how it feels. Just going to shimmy. I'm just currently streaming this on two different things. It is, Facebook. Facebook is the bane of my existence, really. Right. Alrighty. So we're going to go into 1, 2, 3, about 5 movement strength flows. Yeah. Let's just break down the individual movements first, and then we're going to combine them together. And then I'm going to tell you also how to structure your workout and how to modify it to your specific goals and needs, or intensity that you wish to exercise with. Because obviously, if you are in your follicular phase, or if you are in perimenopause, menopause, and you're feeling good, you can push a little bit. If you are in your luteal or menstrual phase, or you're really struggling with menopausal and perimenopausal symptoms, then you need to tone down your exercise. Otherwise, you're just risking a bit of a hormonal imbalance and things will come and haunt you later, okay? So where we're going to start first, we're going to start with under-over grip. This is our grip today, yeah? So under by the Mace, over at the end, okay? Lock the glutes, lock the abs, compress the shoulder blades down, and we're going to start with ballistic curl, Okay. I love the ballistic curl for many, many reasons. I use it as a mobility exercise as well, but it's a fabulous just exercise, especially when you do it with a slightly heavier mace. Okay. Now, you might just be kind of transitioning and kind of like, this is not doing much. Well, let's put a little bit of intention behind it. So, when you are in the what's called a seat belt position, so you're going from seat belt position to seat belt position. Okay. It's called seat belt for obvious reasons. Yeah. It's exactly in the position of a seat belt in the car. When you are in the top seatbelt position and the bottom seatbelt position, I want you to crush the mace. So obviously you won't be able to do that, but I want you to try. Yeah. So you are essentially crushing the ends of the mace or the hands together. Yeah. So it is in this motion. So crush the mace, release tension, travel, crush the mace. Okay. When you do that, suddenly you start realizing there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in your back and in between the shoulder blades. Yeah. So this is an awesome activation exercise as well for the back muscles. So let's go again. Set the glutes, the core, yeah, the abs, and compress the shoulder blades down. I don't want you to have your shoulders somewhere up high. Okay. So crush the mace, travel, crush the mace. Crush, release tension, travel, crush. Suddenly, it probably turns into quite a different exercise. It's a really mild abdominal crunch as well, which feels really good. Okay. So let's try a few on one side and then swap. We're going to swap through the prayer position onto the other side. Reset your core. Don't forget to breathe. Yeah. So ideally, you would breathe twice on the up. Travel, inhale. Okay. So this is the first movement. It's called a ballistic curl. If you have any questions about any of these movements, something doesn't feel right, or you're unsure about anything, just pop your questions in the chat box. If you're watching on YouTube, just put a comment on it and I will answer it in time. Okay. Now we're going to go into a bayonet squat. Bayonet squat is quite a tricky exercise. I'm going to demonstrate. Yeah. It's a rotational squat. Don't worry if like your eyes are glazing over and you're like, wow, I don't think I'll be able to do this. I will give you variations of what you can do. Okay. If this is too much. I would say the bayonet squat is one of the most advanced versions of a mace squat. Okay. So I'm going to run you through it and then I'm going to show you how to modify the movement to better suit maybe your level of skill and ability. The bayonet squat is not where I start people. I start people on just a normal squat. Okay. So you've gone to ballistic curl and then you can just go to a normal squat. But let's break down the bayonet squat. What is the most important thing about the bayonet squat is that from waist down, your body is facing forward. I'm going to show you without the mace first, so then you can get a bit of a visual kind of way how to see the squat. Okay, so from waist down, you squatting straight. The only thing that's twisting is your thoracic spine. So it's literally from waist up. And it's really challenging. If you want to attempt the bayonet squat, do it body weight first without the mace, okay? Because what I see a lot is people collapsing their bayonet squats, yeah? They're twisting the hips, the knees are collapsing. Bayonet squat, from waist down, you're squatting as if you would do a normal squat. Now you're adding the thoracic rotation. Yeah. So it's literally just that and that. But the hips are still perfectly facing forward. This will highlight any mobility issues and restrictions you have in your thoracic spine. Because if you cannot keep your hips straight, and go into thoracic rotation, then because you're telling your body to do this, you will start borrowing the mobility from your hips. Okay. So just see where you can go. Just practice maybe even standing. Hips are straight and locked. Glutes are locked. Abs are locked. Shoulder blades down. Hips are facing forward. I'm rotating the thoracic spine. If this is going well for you, do it in the squat. Yeah? See how you go. Are you tempted to collapse it a little bit, borrow a little bit of mobility, or are you okay? Only when you've got this kind of mastered, you add the mace. Yeah? So you're starting from the seatbelt position. Set yourself up for a squat. Feet are 15 degrees out. Yeah? You really need to engage the core as well to support the rotation with load. That's glutes, abs, and back. Yeah? And see how you go. I'm going to show you sideways to where the mace falls. The mace is kind of parallel to the leg. And whatever you are comfortable with the mace being, then you go into that position. Okay? Obviously, pay attention to your breath. Yeah? So here we go. This is the bayonet squat. Let's try it on the other side. So we're just going to learn the movements individually, and then I'll teach you how to combine them into a strength flow. So this is the bayonet squat, okay? Challenging. If you cannot do the bayonet squat, and I don't recommend that you start there, okay? You can just go, so you've been in the ballistic curl, so you will end up here. Just go to normal squat, okay? Where you're just holding the mace to your sternum, and you're just practicing your squat here. Totally fine version as well, okay? Don't try to run before you know how to walk, all right? If you're just starting out or you're just practicing with a broomstick, then please just do a normal squat first. Okay, there was movement number 2. Let's move to movement number 3, which is the counter press, okay? So again, the same switch, yes, the same grip, under over. You are going to place the mace ball just above the shoulder. You're not going to rest it on the shoulder. It's just going to float above. I need you to really engage the core, the glutes, the abs, yeah, and compress the shoulder blades down. Because on the overhead press, we're going to be pressing it upwards. I don't want your shoulder to come out. I want your shoulder to be compressed and stabilized, and it's just your arm coming up without the shoulder, okay? So the counter press looks like this. The front arm, it's stabilizing the mace. The hand is at the end of the mace in front of your face, and it doesn't move. Lock the shoulder as well. Don't take the shoulder out with the mace, okay? Lock the core to support the press. Hold that hand in one place. The only thing that's moving is the pressing arm, okay? Go with an exhale. All right? If I show you here, holding it, just pressing up, yeah? Don't move the end of the mace. The end of the mace is in one spot, and it's quite hard. The arm is locked. There's no bend in it, okay? So here you go. Here is your counter press, okay? And try it on the other side too. Switch, shake it out, release the tension, and then let's go on the other side. Just got a comment there. I'm just going to have a quick look. Debbie, hi Debbie. Nice to have people on live. If you're watching the replay, you have questions, just go #replay. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them, okay? Let's transition to the other side. One side can be easier than the other, all right? Your dominant arm is probably going to be slightly easier than the arm on the other side. So this is your counter press. If it's too difficult for you, maybe you've got quite heavy mace or you're just starting out, then reduce the range of motion. Okay, you can't really simplify this movement in any way, but instead of going all the way up, you can just build your strength slowly and gradually from just a reduced range of motion. Okay. The last movement we are going to do is a rear swing. And again, this is a fabulous mobility exercise and strength exercise as well. I'm going to run you through it. So again, starting with a seat belt, we're going to cast the mace behind, transitioning it forward and bringing it back. Yeah. So this movement has kind of different components to it, and I'm going to run you through it. The most important thing is you need to keep your core locked to support the cast, which is casting is when you are placing the mace ball somewhere far away from the body. Then you're going to bring it back and then back to the starting position, okay? So to be able to fully support the mace and not load your lower back, you need to really lock the abs, the glutes, and the lats, the back muscles, okay? So you go from here. Now the hips are moving with the mace, okay? So lock the glutes, abs, and then try to cast the mace back. Now, ideally, you would be able to cast your mace directly behind you, but I know sometimes people have limited mobility, okay? So cast your mace somewhere where it will just naturally go today and work on your mobility. Whether that's here, whether that's there, or even here, it is okay. Don't over twist your back to try to reach destinations or places where your body is not ready to go. Also, if you're finding the full extension too difficult, go partially. Yeah. Just like we simplified the counter press by reducing the range of motion, you can reduce the range of motion. Instead of going all the way out, you will just go partially. Okay. So let's run through the whole movement. So again, lock your core, twist the hips with the mace, cast behind you in any version that is good for you today, undercut it. So you're going under and the mace ball is in front of your face now. Again, this is a full-on extension. Reduce if you need to, okay? So you can literally go from this to just this, okay? And then back to seatbelt. If you want to do the full version, because you can, or you've got lighter mace, you can do the full version. Be very careful. This is a full-on intense stretch for the whole bicep line, so the whole arm, and you need to be able to support the movement with your core. Otherwise, you're going to put a lot of tension in the lower back. I suggest you go super slow and release the tension at the end of every repetition. Reset everything as you go into the next one. Okay, let's try it on the other side. Again, lock. Go either in the full version or just partial. Learn how to lock your core in a rotational movement. Rotational movements is really underutilized in traditional weightlifting or like HIIT classes. You might be doing a little bit of maybe, I don't know, lunge with the twist, maybe like Russian twists, which are notorious for upsetting lower backs. So rotational exercises are not really that common in conventional training. So be very mindful to build the strength in rotation slowly and gradually. Don't throw yourself into the full version just yet, okay? So let's just run through one more. Full version or reduced range of motion, okay? So these are the movements that are part of the strength flow. And now I'm going to run you through how we're going to combine all of these movements into one strength flow. And then we're going to run through the different versions of it we can, okay? So at the moment, we're just going to go, let's go 1 repetition per movement. Okay. So ballistic curl, and go with me. Okay. Ballistic curl. Now, any squat of your choosing, you can just go into a simple squat, or if you've got the bayonet squat mastered, go into bayonet squat. Back to seat belt. Set yourself up for the counter press. Do not rush into the movements. Counter press. Yeah? Back to seat belt. Rear swing. Okay? At this is the end. We're going to switch and we're going to do the whole thing on the other side. Again, go nice and slow. Please do not rush. There's a lot going on. Okay. Ballistic curl. Squat of your choosing. Set up for the counter press. Yeah? Don't rush into it. Make sure your form is good. Back to seat belt. Rear swing. Okay? So this is the strength flow. If you've got any questions, just put them in and pop them in the chat box. If you're watching on replay, go #replay. And if you're watching on YouTube, pop them in the comments, because YouTube notifies me and I can answer your question. Okay, so this is your strength flow. How do you turn it into an interval training? You can do as many repetitions per movement as you want to. I usually do between 3 and 5 if I want to really kind of simulate the interval training. You can also do, like, let's say that you're going to do 8 sets of the whole flow on both sides. Okay. So you can kind of manipulate the repetition to suit your goals. Are you going to go more for endurance, in which case you'll be increasing your repetitions? Do you want to go for a bit of cardio, in which case you're going to go a little bit faster once you master the movements properly, and you will just do 1 rep per flow. Okay. So there's a lot of kind of manipulations you can do with it, and this flow can be turned into quite different workouts depending on how many reps you're doing. Okay, so let's try the flow one more time on each side. This time we're going to do 3 repetitions per movement. Okay, so let's go. 3 ballistic curls. Go nice and slow. You'll see that the loading will increase. It's more about strength and endurance, okay, rather than more about flow. Okay, let's go to 3 squats of your choosing. I'm going to go for bayonet, but you can also go for just a normal squat. 3 squats. Transition to the counter press. Set up for it. 3 counter presses. Make sure you're breathing. Bring it back. 3 rear swings. As you are getting more comfortable with the movements, you'll notice a bit more of a flow. Yeah. So I've been doing this for a while. So for me, I can go reasonably fluidly. Yeah. At the beginning, you want to go quite robotically. Make sure you always set up really well before you go into the next movement. Switch sides. Let's go for 3 reps per movement on the other side. 3 ballistic curls. Let me know how this makes you feel. If you've got a mace, then obviously do it with a mace. If you don't, you can use it. You can use a broomstick. Okay, that will give you quite accurate representation of what it feels like to be training with a mace, but obviously without the weight. Yeah, but you can practice your switches and anything, any of the movements. And then we're going to go for 3 rear swings. Go nice and slow at the beginning. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So this is the strength flow, which can replace your HIIT training. Yeah. You can do this for 20 minutes quite easily. You can do it for 10. You can do it for 15, whatever period of time you have. If you're going for 3 repetitions per movement, then perhaps have like a 30 seconds break between rounds. You can go for 5 repetitions per movement, even 7, or any number that you want, okay? It will just increase the load a little bit more. It will push you into more endurance. If you want a little bit more cardio, then you're just going to go 1, okay? Yeah. You can do this strength flow as a gentle kind of mobility flow if you just do it for 5 minutes. That's what I love about the Mace, that is so versatile. And whatever workout you want to do on any given day, you can manipulate what you already know to suit your different purposes. Because we know that depending on how you feel, where you are in your cycle, how you're feeling through your perimenopausal or menopausal journey, how much sleep you've had, how much time you have, okay? Some days I only have 15 minutes, so I try to pack in. I mean, when you think about it, what we did here, there's so many movements in this. You exercise the whole body. And that's the beauty of this comparing to weightlifting, where you're just doing kind of exercising just one group of muscles. This, you're exercising everything with every movement, okay? So you don't need a lot of time. You can just have 15 minutes and that's it. But obviously exercising every day, okay? So whatever you are at with your time or your body, your energy levels, your sleep, your mood, then you can just choose the right workout. And that is what I teach in the Warrior Woman Steel Mace program. I give you like a whole menu of different training sessions. So then you can choose the perfect one for each day, because ideally we should be maybe moving every single day. But we don't want to be doing full-on crazy HIIT classes every single day, right? So sometimes you can just do 10 minutes of Mace mobility. Sometimes you might just want to do a gentle flow. Sometimes you might want to do a strength flow. Sometimes you might want to do the full 20-minute interval training session and choose the timer to kind of suit your goals. So that is what you can get inside the Warrior Woman. You can get a whole menu of training sessions that you can pick and choose from. So then you are moving every single day. You're getting stronger. You're getting more cardio. You're getting more mobility. You're feeling happier, more energized and confident. And then you can just age like fine wine. Okay. So if you have some questions about the Warrior Woman, because you are quite interested in this type of training, let me know. And if you have any questions about the movements we did here today or how to modify them to suit your goals, I'm happy to answer these questions. Okay. But thank you so much for joining me today and giving me your time to learn something new. And even if you don't have a mace, perhaps have a go with a broomstick or some other similar tool and let me know how that feels for you. But thank you so much and keep moving. Ka kite ano.